My name's Steve, this is Classified Captures. We got everything from AI Atlas updates to things about airports, airplanes. We got Yetis, and we even got Pennywise. Watch this space. Tell me this doesn't give you the heebie-jeebies. I'm gonna be the big guy and admit that when I saw these things, I didn't know what they were. In fact, I was starting to think that perhaps they might be something alien or extraterrestrial, which, well, now I think about it, is probably just me overthinking things. I shared the clip with my team, most of whom grew up in the city away from nature. Some thought it might be facehuggers from that one movie we don't talk about, whereas others felt the clip might not even be real in the first place. The debate went on for quite a while till I disappeared from amongst their midst to do some research. Julius is on leave and wouldn't appreciate me calling him to ask, so I logged in, like you youngsters say, and combed the internet. After a few seconds, I found a similar post, and it turns out that these things are not as ominous as they look. Are you guys familiar with dragonflies? Well, it turns out that they have close relatives called damselflies, and the scientific sect of the online community believes that these are the larvae in water. I did some combing, and many informed entomologists online believes that's what they are. Now, I've no way of confirming since I'm just finding out about these guys, and none of the clips I've seen online so far look like this particular one. Individuals on the original post still hold on to some crazy ideas of what these might be, including a few individuals stating that these might just be scorpions drowning. Weird, I know, but can you guys help out if you're familiar with these insects? Thank you.
Oh man, what is that? They're going crazy. They're all coming out. There's tons of them. Bro, they're all coming out at night.
They're going towards the light right now.
No, that's like 1 inch.
Look, they're going towards the light.
Yeah, they're all like 1 inch big.
On the 5th of November 2025, residents of Woodland, California were suddenly awakened around 5:20 a.m. by a loud, unexplained boom in the sky. Many described it as a deep echoing blast that started with a sharp whistle before erupting into a powerful boom that shook their homes. Security cameras across the area captured the sound, and several residents reported their windows and doors rattling from the force of it. Authorities were contacted immediately, but to this day no official explanation has been given. There were no signs of explosions, no aircraft incidents, and no missile tests reported in the area. Some have speculated it could have been a meteor entering the atmosphere, a sonic boom from a high-speed aircraft, or even a minor earthquake. Others believe it could have been a controlled test or classified operation that wasn't disclosed to the public. But there was no flash or light or visible streak in the sky to accompany the sound. So what could that be? A woman had spent the night in a hotel, and after settling in, she noticed something strange in the mirror across from her bed. The mirror was positioned in such a way that she could see the reflection of the space underneath her bed, but as she looked closer, she froze. There, in the reflection, was a pale face staring right back at her from under the bed. Startled, she jumped up and immediately bent down to check, but when she looked, there was no one, nothing at all. Everything seemed perfectly normal, yet she couldn't shake the image she'd just seen. What made it even more unsettling was that she mentioned that she was in a shared hotel room. That meant someone else was also staying in that space. But that cannot be her roommate. She saw in the reflection under her bed. Hotels are places where thousands of people come and go, each leaving behind their own energy and presence. So when something like this happens, it's hard to tell if it was just a trick of the light or if she saw something that wasn't supposed to be there at all. A man who organizes haunted houses was taking down one of his setups after the Halloween season. As he walked through the empty attraction, checking each room and corridor, he stumbled upon this doll. At first, he thought it was just one of the props left behind by mistake, but as he looked closer, he realized something was very wrong. He'd never seen this doll before. It wasn't part of any of the displays or decorations he'd used, yet there it was, sitting in the corner of the room, its eyes open, its head slightly tilted. And then suddenly, it started to talk. The doll laughed, muttering strange phrases that sounded like eerie jokes. The man stood frozen, trying to process what was happening. He checked around for hidden speakers or voice boxes, but there was nothing connected to it. Some people who heard his story believed the doll could be cursed or attached to something supernatural, while others think it might have been planted there as a prank. But the way it spoke and the fact that no one had ever seen it before makes this story feel all too real and all too unsettling. So how did it get there, and who or what made it talk?
Do you want to play with me and all my friends? Come out wherever you are.
This was not in the corn maze. This was not in the house.
Why do you look so scared? Everyone in the graveyard just wants to be friends.
No idea where this came from, and it's powered up.
I love the cemetery, especially at midnight, when it's colder, when the other children are long asleep, and the dead awaken.
We're in the festive season and travel is about to pick up as people move back and forth. But here's something most travelers don't realize. Ever since the government shutdown on the 1st of November, the airline industry has been hit with major budget cuts and the ripple effects are already starting to show. Airport workers, including TSA agents, maintenance crews, and even air traffic support staff are reportedly not receiving pay. Because of that, around 40 airports across the country have had to cut down on their flights, either delaying or canceling scheduled routes altogether. And since the shutdown, the American economy has lost roughly $15 billion every week. That's a massive hit, and it's impacting not just the airlines but everyone connected to them: tourism, trade, logistics, and everyday travelers. If airport operations are being strained and workers aren't being paid, how safe is it to travel right now? Are citizens and international travelers at risk due to fatigue or reduced oversight? Next, a man films a video of his living room fish tank, but what he captures inside is bizarre. There's this strange creature gliding through the water, looking like a miniature Loch Ness monster. It has a long neck, a small head, and a body that looks almost like a seal. The way it moves is unnervingly smooth, yet something about it feels completely wrong, like it doesn't belong in that tiny tank, or anywhere, really. When the footage was posted online, it spread fast. People couldn't agree on what they were seeing. Some claimed it was a rare aquatic creature or even some kind of lab experiment, while others suspected CGI or visual manipulation. But then someone made an interesting observation. If you look closely at the reflection on the tank's glass, you can see the person filming. The phone model does not look like a phone of this era, or ever even made. That's when the discussion took a turn. Many began to suspect that this wasn't real footage at all, but a piece of AI-generated content. The question now is, where did this footage come from? Who made it? And if AI can generate something this convincing, how many of the real viral videos we see every day might actually be synthetic too?
Look at you, little guy. You really do look like a tiny Nessie. Those eyes are wild. Just cruising around like you own the tank. All right, buddy, say bye.
A witness shared this eerie footage they captured while driving down a quiet stretch of road. In the middle of the opposite lane was this massive metallic-looking object. It's huge, almost the size of a small car, and it looks like part of a machine or maybe even a tank. Standing beside it are two uniformed men, possibly police or military personnel, their vehicles parked nearby with lights flashing faintly through the haze. Now what's strange is where this thing came from. Behind the scene is a dense forest and far too steep for something that size to have just rolled out of it. The only logical guess some people are making is that it fell from above, but from what? A plane, a satellite, or something entirely different? Some online have speculated that this could be a part of a rocket or space debris, but others ain't buying it. The design looks too much like it came from a giant craft. Whatever it is, the officers on site didn't seem to want anything getting close, or anyone for that matter, which only adds more mystery to the whole scene. So what are we really looking at here?
What is going on in this world? I think did that fall out of a UFO?
Our next sighting comes from Japan, and it's one that's been leaving people scratching their heads. A man had his camera pointed at the sky after noticing something strange descending from above. And when he zoomed in, what he captured was a glowing orange orb like a plasma ball, slowly moving downward toward the Earth. The object had this steady light to it, not flickering like a plane or a drone, and as it descended, it glowed even brighter before disappearing behind a line of trees. But what's even more unusual is that just moments later another one followed. Same shape, same color, same silent movement through the night sky. Given the size and how bright it was, many are ruling out fireworks or lanterns. Some think these could be a plasma energy anomaly or natural atmospheric phenomena. But others are saying this could be something else entirely. But what exactly are we looking at here?
これね、実はでっかい大きなタイプのやつなんだよね。これがこんなに出るのもね、初めてかもしれないです。
Halloween is always a crazy time of year when people dress up in all sorts of scary, fun, and ridiculous costumes. You'll find people wearing them at work, in bars, at parties, and even while commuting. That was exactly the case for this woman who was on a subway ride during Halloween night. She happened to be sitting right next to a man dressed as Pennywise. She didn't want to seem rude, so she pointed her phone camera at the window opposite her, which reflected the man sitting beside her. In the footage, you can clearly see the Pennywise costume in the reflection. It already looked unsettling enough, but then as she zoomed in on the reflection, something strange appeared. For just a brief second, another face showed up in the window. It was a pale, ghostly face. It looked eerily similar to Pennywise's pale complexion, but blank and expressionless. Then, just as quickly as it appeared, it vanished. Now, what makes this even creepier is that the train was in motion, so it couldn't have been someone standing outside. Whatever it was appeared in the reflection only, and not in real life. This has led many to speculate that this could be something paranormal. There's an old belief that during Halloween, the veil between the living world and the spirit world is thinner, allowing spirits, demons, and other entities to pass through. So could it be that this pale figure was one of those entities caught slipping through the veil?
Right, speak to staff or text police 61016. We'll sort it.
You know, call me a party pooper, but Halloween has never been a big thing for me, quite frankly. I've never dressed up and walked down streets or done any of that kind of stuff. Never did trick-or-treating, never did anything. You know, I'm sure it's fun, really. We have some updates on what the future of aviation might look like starting from 2026, which is only a few weeks away. Airlines are reportedly working on introducing a new concept called vertical seating. Now, this isn't the usual kind of seat we're used to. Instead of sitting normally, passengers would be standing upright in specifically designed support seats that keep you stable and comfortable enough for the duration of the flight. The idea behind this new design is to increase capacity and save space. By having people stand or partially stand, airlines can fit more passengers on each flight, which could mean cheaper tickets and higher efficiency. From what's circulating right now, this concept is still in the experimental stage. While a few manufacturers have shown off prototypes and airlines have expressed interest, there's no official plan to roll it out by 2026. It's more of a concept that's being tested and studied to see if it's even practical or safe for commercial flights. There are a lot of cases of trafficking and kidnapping happening every day, and it's really disturbing. Most of the victims are usually unaware of what's going on around them. These criminals use sneaky and unsuspecting tricks to catch people off guard, and one of those tactics was caught on camera recently. A girl who was out in a parking lot at night with her friend was live streaming when she noticed that the wiper on a windshield was sticking straight up. The moment she saw it, she got alarmed. She was aware of the tricks kidnappers use, and her friend quickly told her to drive away. As they started driving, they noticed that the side mirror of the car had been tilted upwards. Traffickers and kidnappers sometimes use tricks like this. They'll place zip ties on your door handle, stick money on your windshield, or move your wipers to get you to step out of your car and check. The second you do, they can grab you, chloroform you, or shove you into another vehicle. But these girls did not fall for it. They kept driving away even though their mirror was out of place. What's even more chilling is that people watching their live stream noticed that someone was hiding between parked cars in the dark, right near where they'd parked earlier. It's believed that could have been the person waiting to ambush them. Thankfully, the girls made it out safely, but not everyone is that lucky. So if you ever see something unusual on your car, a note, a zip tie, a wiper sticking up, or anything odd, do not get out immediately. Lock your doors, drive to a safe place, and check later.
Wait. Bitch. No. Wait, I'm gonna drive off. Bitch, drive. What the Bro. That's a way for sex trafficking. That's a way for you to get out the car and fix that and someone stabbed me under the car. Oh, hell no. Wait, no. That's weird.
What do you think of this video? You can see a man stick his finger into a woman's mouth. She bites down lightly, holding his finger with her teeth, and then he leans in to peck her on the cheek. It's such a strange interaction. And what makes it even weirder is that it looks like it's happening at some sort of conference or public event because there are people talking and walking around in the background. Everything about this video looks real, the lighting, the facial expressions, the crowd and the movement, but it all looks natural. But sorry to break it to you, this is actually an AI-generated video, none of it actually happened. The level of realism that AI videos are reaching now is getting very concerning. You can look at this clip and almost swear it's a genuine recording until you really study it closely. Then you start to notice tiny inconsistencies. But the fact that it still looks this convincing is worrying. Just imagine what this means for the future. We could soon see major viral events, controversies, or even real news clips circulating online, only to later find out that it was all generated by AI.
She's incredible. Can I? Wow. You're amazing. Thank you. Look at that smile.
There are a lot of strange people out there and strange things happening that we often never get to hear about, and this story is one of them. This incident dates back to 2022, and to this day, people are still asking questions about what truly happened and how it ended. It all began when a TikTok user shared a video of a very unsettling encounter she had at an apartment complex. In the footage, a strange man appears at a door holding a weird-looking cup, claiming he was told to deliver it to her. But the woman had no idea who he was, and when she asked who sent him or where he came from, he refused to answer. Instead, he just kept repeating that he had to give it to her and he had to see her. The woman, understandably frightened, began yelling from a doorway demanding answers. The man didn't react much. After a few tense moments, he simply placed the strange object on the ground and walked away down the stairs. But things took a darker turn shortly after. Moments later, the man began climbing back up the stairs towards her apartment again. At that point, panic set in. The woman still recording backed away from the door. When she realized he was coming back toward the door, she ran out of the back exit, fleeing the building and calling for help. That's where the video cuts off, and no one knows what happened next, but an update surfaced later online claiming that the man had kept returning, asking her to take off her top because she was beautiful. It was suggested that he might have been sent by an ex-boyfriend to harass and intimidate her. However, there's still no verified confirmation linking that update to the original video, leaving the story open-ended and disturbing. People can be unpredictable and dangerous. Always stay alert, trust your instincts, and if something doesn't feel right, don't take any chances. Stay safe and aware out there.
Who are you? What are you doing? Who are you? Can you please help me? There's a guy trying to monkey me.
What you're looking at here is a freshly skinned snake, completely stripped of its scales, head, and internal organs. It looks like someone was in the middle of preparing it for cooking, but the body is still moving. What's even more unsettling is how the body still seems to move, twitching slightly as if the snake were still alive. But this phenomenon isn't supernatural, it's actually a natural reflex reaction. Even after death, a snake's nervous system can continue to send signals to the muscles for a short time, especially if it was killed recently. This can cause spasms or movements that make it appear alive, even though it's not. Some viewers have speculated that this could be AI-generated footage because of how eerie and lifelike it looks. With how realistic artificial videos have become lately, it's hard to tell what's real and what isn't. Before all the grainy security and trail camera footage of Bigfoot sightings we see today, there was one chilling encounter back in 1996 in Washington. A man who lived in the woods made a 911 call one night saying that something huge had thrown his dog over the fence. According to him, there was no way the dog could have jumped over it, and when the dog landed inside his yard, it was already dead. He said he saw something massive moving behind the trees, but he wasn't sure what it was. It didn't look like a person and it was too large. A few days later, he called 911 again, this time saying that there was someone in his yard. He described what he saw as a big, dark, thick figure standing still, staring right at him. The dispatcher tried to get more details, but the man's voice sounded shaken and afraid. That was the last call he ever made about it. After that, reports say the man sold his house, moved away, and never spoke about it again. Nothing about the case made it to mainstream media, but those who heard the story believed it could have been one of the most genuine Bigfoot encounters ever recorded. Unlike many modern sightings that go viral for attention, this one felt sincere. Whether it really was Bigfoot or something else in the woods that night, we'll never know, but it remains one of those rare cases that still leaves people wondering what he truly saw in those Washington forests.
I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?
My dog went flying through the air over the tree. I don't know how it did it.
Okay.
Damn it, I'm really confused. All I saw was my dog coming over the fence, and he was dead when she hit the ground. I didn't see any cars. All I saw was my dog coming over the fence.
What are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on, and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something. It looks like a man. I don't know what it was. Just that it ran across the yard.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yeah, my dog was killed here just recently. I don't know what it was. Whatever it is, it's running. I couldn't catch it if I was going to chase it. So whatever it was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now, and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better...
Sir?
Dio!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh.
Okay, hang on.
He's right.
Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he doing in your yard?
He's looking at me.
Oh, and the guy is on foot.
I don't know what. It's a big, real big person. That's all I can say.
In the past, farming was the most human and natural process. People, animals, and soil interact with seasons and weather. And now with AI-driven precision systems, robotic pickers, and vertical farms, the connection is fading fast. There are now VR headsets for cows to reduce stress by simulating open green pastures, even though the animals are confined indoors. It's efficient, but it also feels eerie, doesn't it? Then we have vertical farms, often underground or in enclosed facilities. These are fully automated with lights, nutrients, humidity, and temperatures all controlled by AI, and they can produce crops in 10 to 15 days instead of months. They are energy efficient, pesticide-free, and they can grow year-round regardless of the weather. Once food becomes a technological product instead of a natural process, the people who control the machines will control the food supply. Traditional farmers can't easily compete with AI systems that yield faster, cleaner, and cheaper produce. The small family farms that once fed communities could become obsolete. And these AI farms are already partnering with major distributors like Whole Foods, meaning the global food chain is slowly shifting from grown to manufactured. On the surface, it looks like innovation because with fewer hands growing the world's foods, there's more reliance on tech corporations to feed humanity. We're not far from a time when farmers might not mean people at all, but technicians. I wonder how long it takes before they start harvesting human beings for organs and stuff like that. Maybe they already are, but quite frankly, I'm starting to get to a point where I'm despairing of humanity. I really am. This is obviously going to be something where nature, as I keep saying, is going to bite us and kick us right in our asses. And quite frankly, we deserve it. Did you know that using your non-dominant hand to brush your teeth can actually help boost your brain hemisphere? Yes. This idea is based on how the brain works. When you use your non-dominant hand to do daily activities like brushing your teeth, eating, or even writing, you're basically forcing the other side of your brain to become more active. It challenges your coordination, focus, and balance, and it helps improve neural connections between both hemispheres of your brain. Some researchers say it can even enhance memory and creativity over time because your brain is being exercised in an unusual way. So the next time you're brushing your teeth, try switching hands. It might feel weird at first, but that's the point. That discomfort means your brain is working harder. A group of people decided to visit a haunted house late at night, and as they entered, they had their camera rolling to capture everything. The place was said to be abandoned, but as the person in front opened the door and stepped inside, something strange happened. You can hear this deep, inaudible voice in the background. When the footage was slowed down, the voice became clearer, though still hard to make out what it was saying. It sounded like it was coming from somewhere inside the building, even though no one was there. The group said they didn't notice anything unusual at the time, but when they watched the footage later, that's when they heard it. Whatever it was, it left them shaken. Was it an entity trying to communicate with them, or just an eerie echo from the old house itself?
Let me stick the camera through the hole first, might be a body in there. Want a chat with them too?
East what, so far? East wing?
Can you get him? Can you get him? Get him. Get him.
A mother had bought her son a SpongeBob balloon earlier that day, and by night, when the little boy had gone to bed, the balloon was left floating in the living room. She was sitting there quietly with her dog when she noticed something strange. The dog's attention was suddenly fixed on the balloon with its ears up and eyes locked, following its every move. Then, the balloon began to drift. It floated gently out of the living room and into the hallway, which was dark. The woman watched as it moved like something was guiding it. When it reached the hallway, it slowly turned around. The dog began to bark, clearly unsettled. The woman said she felt an odd chill as though the balloon was being controlled by something unseen. While it could just be air currents or static making it move, she couldn't shake off the feeling that it was something else, maybe an unseen energy or even an entity controlling the balloon. We have some interesting footage coming out of China showing what someone claims to be a strange creature that might have escaped from the Guangzhou lab. In the video, we can see a field surrounded by an electrical fence, and behind it stands this odd-looking figure. It appears to be upright on 2 feet, and when it moves, you can clearly see its arms lifting. But it's long, thin, and twisted like tree roots. Its head seems almost dog-like, but distorted in shape, giving it a deformed and unsettling look. Now, while many people online think it could just be AI-generated footage, which is clearly possible, others think there's more to it. There's a theory going around that the Guangzhou lab has been used for certain experiments, and this could be evidence of one of those experiments gone wrong. Whether that's true or not is still up for debate, but the footage itself is definitely strange. What do you make of it? The next footage comes from Russia and was captured by a group of cameramen flying over a forest in a helicopter. It was after a heavy snowfall, so the entire ground below was blanketed in white. As they were filming the landscape, they noticed something walking through the snow. From the footage, you can clearly see a large humanoid figure walking upright on 2 legs. What makes it even more fascinating is the sheer distance between the helicopter and the ground, yet the shape of this figure is still very clear. Judging by its size and light color of its fur, many believe this could be a Yeti, the snow-covered cousin of Bigfoot. Now, while some think it might just be a person in a suit, others are convinced that this could be one of the clearest glimpses of a Yeti ever recorded in Russia. Up next, we have our regular update on the 3i Atlas situation that just never seems to fade away. Now, the latest information coming out is quite wild. Scientists are saying that this mysterious object could actually be around 7 billion years old compared to our sun, which is about 4.6 billion years old. That's interesting because it suggests that 3i Atlas may have existed long before our solar system even formed into what it is today. And if that's true, then what exactly is this object? Where did it come from? It's funny how people are so caught up with what's flying toward Earth, yet we still can't figure out what's going on in our own oceans. So while scientists keep debating whether 3i Atlas is just a comet or something far more advanced, this story isn't slowing down anytime soon. I don't know what some of you were doing during Halloween, but while some people were just showing off new costumes and wardrobe makeovers, others seemed to be up to something a bit more unsettling. A woman was walking down the street when she came across something strange in a trash can on the side of the road. Inside the bin was this eerie-looking doll made of twigs with a beaded necklace tied around its neck. The craftsmanship looks odd, not like a regular toy, more like something handmade. It gives off that creepy ritualistic vibe, almost like one of those dolls used in curses or dark folk practices. Now what could this be? Could it be some kind of ritual doll, a charm someone threw away after using it? Or maybe it's just an art piece or a collector's item someone decided to discard. Honestly, it's not something most of us would want sitting in our homes.
Look at this. What is this? What is this? What? Honey, some things we just don't touch, even as a dog collector. What in the boogity? What is happening? Ooh, why is it here? It's just posted up. What? What in the world?
Beneath the veil of the night sky, a curious observer captures an enigmatic scene, an array of strange lights hidden behind the clouds. As the lights blink and change color, it looks like some sort of party out there beyond the sky.
Meu, já faz mais de minuto que tá assim, cara. Nunca vi nada. É para lá só.
Honestly, I like to think that somewhere out there in the cosmos, a celestial DJ is spinning tunes while extraterrestrial beings do the moonwalk on a space dance floor. But hey, I'm not ruling out the possibility of the universe throwing a grand finale party either. It's been around for quite a few aeons after all. But on a serious note, what could they mean? As fun as they look, they could be signs, maybe nature's way of telling us something. But what could that be? Back in 2011 in Russia, a local farmer was woken up in the middle of the night by an intensive earthquake. As he woke up, he realized that the quake was not what he thought it was. It was an explosion. So the farmer set out to investigate, only to retrieve this. Burnt remains of a strange creature. The head looked almost human, but its lower jaw was much bigger than a human's. The creature, smaller than the average adult human, exhibited limbs resembling those of an animal rather than a human. This spectacle was found in a maize farm, so the burned body was attached to corn husks and some maize. Now the question is, what is this? The locals said it could be an ancient witch that lives in the woods and eats children, but some scientists suspect it to be something else. With how the permafrost in Russia is melting, they believe that this could be one of the extinct creatures that might have escaped. As for the cause of the explosion, it remains a mystery to this day. What would you do if you suspected your wife was trying to kill you? Well, this next clip isn't our usual, but it's a classified capture worth sharing. Robbie, the man in question, had a nightly routine. He would prep his coffee in the coffee maker before going to bed, so it was ready to go in the morning. But something strange was happening. As you can see in the footage, his wife Melody would sneak into the kitchen early in the morning, look around suspiciously, grab something from behind the counter, and pour it in the coffee grounds. Typically, Robbie will just mix his coffee with no problem and go about his day. In recent times, however, Robbie had become suspicious. He noticed something off about his coffee. When he cleaned out the coffee maker, he found it was unusually foamy. Sometimes he even smelled bleach coming from it. Since then, he only pretended to drink it, secretly collecting more evidence. This went on for a while, with Robbie playing along to ensure he had enough proof. After he gathered enough evidence, Robbie went to the police. Melody was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. Can you imagine living with someone you love only to find out that they're trying to kill you? It's chilling. Thankfully, Robbie's quick thinking and determination helped him uncover the truth and protect himself. It's a good thing he figured it out now before he became a ghost that wouldn't leave his apartment. These are some of the reasons why people are always on edge when the theory of governments hiding things from us comes up. Take a look at this strange footage recorded over Larsen Bay, Alaska. Did you see it when the slow-mo came? That was a large, round, planet-like object seen moving in the sky. According to reports, the footage was taken on a live stream, and after it aired, it was quickly taken down by authorities. Many took that to mean that the clip was legitimate, but if the clip is truly legitimate, then just what are we looking at here? Some individuals on the paranormal platform believe it was Nibiru, the mythical rogue planet. Others mention the Death Star straight out of Star Wars. Not everyone is convinced, though. One skeptic suggested it was just a lens flare, an optical illusion caused by the camera. On a normal day, I would jump onto that bandwagon, but the removal of the footage by the FAA only fuels the fire and doubt of all who saw it. Why would they take it down if there was nothing to hide? It's actions like these that make people suspicious and keep conspiracy theories alive. What do you think? In a daring underwater escapade, a diver plunges into the depths to witness the beauty of aquatic life, only to encounter an unexpected adversary, an aggressive sea lion with a disposition that seems less than welcoming. The creature, seemingly having woken up on the wrong side of the bed, initiates a series of attacks by swimming at high speed and forcefully slamming into the diver. While these marine mammals are generally known for their playful and curious demeanor, there are several reasons why a sea lion might display aggression toward a diver. It could be due to the animal feeling territorial, protective of its young, or reacting to perceived threats. In some cases, individuals may not be fully aware of how to interact safely with marine wildlife, which can lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. While we can't tell which of these is responsible for the sea lion's attack, it serves as a reminder that these animals can also be dangerous. While driving on the road, the individual recording this footage came across a man in a white button-up shirt with trousers walking ahead of his car. It seemed like he was taking off his jacket, but then this happened. Out of nowhere, this person in a red shirt appears. If you take a closer look, you'd realize that there was initially no one in sight except for the man walking. It's not readily understood how the second individual appears, and if you know anything about the internet, you know that theories would fly almost everywhere. Some believe it could be a glitch in the Matrix, whereas others believe it's all fake footage. The internet is saturated with edited footage to such an extent that distinguishing between real and fake occurrences becomes a challenging task when these events genuinely unfold. But what do you guys think? Real, glitch, or a complete hoax? Tell us in the comments section. A man once came home to find a bizarre and unsettling sight: two identical dogs in his house. At first glance, both dogs looked exactly the same, with only one strange difference. One of them was his dog, while the other was a complete mystery. One of the dogs was ecstatic, jumping all over him like it always did, full of energy and affection, but the other stood a few meters away, silently watching with an eerie, unnerving stare. The man began to suspect that one of these two might just have been something sinister, a skinwalker, a creature known for taking the form of others. He was confused, naturally, and left puzzled as to how to differentiate the dogs. Not sure how he eventually did it, but he uploaded the clip to share the experience. Looking at the footage, which do you think is the imposter and why? Humans have always been captivated by mystical creatures, whether in myths or legends. And while we may not encounter dragons in our everyday lives, sometimes nature offers us glimpses of creatures that feel almost otherworldly. Let me share this example with you. Just take a look at this bird. It looks like something straight out of a fantasy world. With its unique appearance, you might even mistake it for a dragon at first glance, especially when you notice its distinctive ears. It's absolutely fascinating, and it's almost unreal. But it's very real. This stunning creature is called the great-eared nightjar. a bird native to the tropical forests of Southeast Asia. Its large ear-like tufts and cryptic colors make it appear almost mythical. The concept of mermaids, or ningyo in Japanese, has a long and varied history in Japanese folklore and mystery. Unlike the Western portrayal of mermaids as beautiful human-fish hybrids, Japanese mermaids often have a more fantastical and mysterious appearance. In traditional Japanese folklore, there are stories of fishermen encountering mermaids at sea. These tales often describe mermaids as having a human-like upper body and a fish-like lower body. Some accounts depict them with a beautiful appearance, while others portray them as more monstrous. One notable artifact associated with Japanese mermaid lore is the Ibukjima mermaid mummy. In the late 19th century, a mummified creature purportedly to be a mermaid was displayed in Ibukjima, Japan. The creature had a monkey-like face and a fish-like lower body. This next one might make your stomach churn, so brace yourself. Now I know you were wondering what you're looking at here. This is the remains of Alyoshenka. Just in case you're wondering, the Alyoshenka, also known as the Kishtim dwarf, refers to the mysterious remains of a small humanoid creature reportedly discovered in the village of Kyolinovoy near Kishtim in Russia in 1996. The discovery gained attention due to its unusual appearance and the speculation surrounding its origin. The creature was about 10 inches, 25 centimeters tall, had a disproportionately large head, and lacked a visible navel, ears, or a mouth. Its features led some to speculate that it might be extraterrestrial in origin. However, the story is surrounded by controversy, and there are various theories about what Alyoshenka actually was. Some theories suggest that it was a deformed human fetus or a premature baby, while others argue that it could be a non-human primate. In any case, the lack of clear documentation and scientific analysis makes it challenging to determine the true nature of Alyoshenka. Take a look at this massive rock formation and tell me, do you see the side profile of a human face? It's hard to miss, right? The contours of the rock look strikingly like a face, with a well-defined nose, a prominent brow, and even what seems like a chin. The resemblance is almost too perfect, almost as if nature itself was playing the role of a sculptor over the centuries. It's eerie how familiar it looks, as though you're staring at an ancient statue rather than a natural rock. But here's the question. Is this just one of those strange coincidences, or is there something more going on here? Maybe it's an example of pareidolia, but the more you look at it, the more you can't help but dispute the fact that it does look like a face. You won't believe the story behind this giant statue of a man with wings. It's not just a piece of art. It's a chilling reminder of violence and its consequences. The entire statue was crafted from knives, over 100,000 of them, all retrieved from more than 40 police stations. These aren't just knives, they are weapons that have been used to murder or harm people. Actual murder weapons that were confiscated by the police. Knowing the grim history behind each blade gives me chills just thinking about it. And then just look at how many there are, enough to create this massive structure. The artist created this masterpiece not only to showcase their skill, but also to honor the victims of knife crime and those affected by such violence. It's both beautiful and haunting at the same time that a powerful symbol of pain turned into a monumental reminder of lives lost. What do you think of this piece of art? In this curious image taken, there appears to be a creature hiding behind a tree. The upper part of the creature is visible as it peeks through a space between two branches of the tree. The creature appears to be very hairy, and looking at where its head is compared to the tree, the creature is huge, probably around 8 to 9 feet. The image was apparently captured from higher ground, giving us a unique bird's eye view of the tree-hugging giant. It's not your regular ape. Some are donning their tinfoil hats, convinced that it's the elusive Bigfoot making a rare appearance in suburbia. Others are more skeptical, thinking it's just a neighbor with a flair for the dramatic, possibly trying out a new costume or pulling off the world's most elaborate photobomb. I'm tempted to lean toward the skeptical bunch, but what about you? Security footage captured this bizarre situation on camera. As you can see, it's daytime and a person coming down the stairs stumbles. He didn't just stumble because he missed his step. No, a person popped out of the ground from nowhere. The scene presents itself as a peculiar moment that challenges our understanding of reality. Could it be a cleverly staged prank, with someone strategically hidden below the surface, ready to make an unexpected entrance? Or perhaps we're witnessing a momentary glitch in the Matrix? What do you think? Let us know in the comments section. Do you see those black fiber-like things in the snow? Well, those just aren't random debris, they're ice worms. Yes, you heard that right. Ice worms. Once they start moving, they look like things that could either zombify or make you sick, right? Well, rest easy, they won't. Scientifically known as Mesentacrecius solifigus, they are fascinating creatures adapted to life in the frigid environments of glaciers and snowfields in the Pacific Northwest of North America. They thrive in temperatures just below the freezing point, emerging at dusk to feed on microscopic algae, bacteria, and organic debris on the snow surface. If you're worried about them zombifying or making you sick, then you would like to know that they're not typically found in human settlements. They're highly specialized for cold, icy environments, primarily inhabiting the surface of glaciers and permanent snowfields in mountainous regions. These habitats offer the specific conditions of temperature, moisture, and food sources like algae and bacteria that snowworms require. So while they aren't really harmful to humans, there's even more good news: they don't stay near us either. Now back to our usual. A passenger on a plane flying about 30,000 feet above the ground from Las Vegas to LA captured something truly fascinating. Take a look. As the plane was cruising along, the passenger noticed these strange-looking bright structures on the ground below. It was almost sundown, so the golden light made the sight even more surreal and mysterious. The footage attracted a lot of curiosity and comments online. One commenter mentioned that these bright structures were actually solar panel plants. That makes sense given the reflective surfaces and the area known for its solar energy projects. Skeptics, however, believe that this could be more than just solar panels. The surreal light show could be some sort of supernatural display. Some are even leaning toward aliens, but I'd like to know what you guys think. Have you ever seen a ball of fire gracefully hovering among the leaves of a towering tree? If you answered no, today's your lucky day. People in the area are fascinated by this unusual sight, calling it a light entity. It shows up unexpectedly and stays a safe distance away. Locals of the area also state that while unexpected and strange, this light entity is a frequent visitor of the vicinity. This spectacle has given rise to speculations and discussions among the locals, prompting them to delve into the possible explanations behind its manifestation. Some state it's not a supernatural entity and that there has to be a logical explanation, while the majority entertain the idea of it being a guardian spirit. Some even say it might be a deity of the town coming for regular visits. What do you think? Speaking of aliens, residents of a vicinity in Brazil saw this round metallic object on the ground in the middle of the road. This object was found after a loud explosion was heard throughout the area. The object was also burning from within. As news of this got out, people speculated that it could be an alien object from the sky. Local authorities, however, provided a different perspective, asserting that the mysterious object was a component of a machine from a nearby factory. Despite this official explanation, the factory itself has yet to confirm or deny the association with the enigmatic metallic sphere. This has left room for continued intrigue and speculation about the true nature of this unusual occurrence. Personally, I think it looks like a tinfoil wrapped around something, but what do I know? If you haven't already hit the like button, subscribed, or even dropped a comment so far, could you do so now? It goes a long way to help us make more videos for you. Thank you so much. Now back to today's episode. At this point, it's nothing new when people claim they've spotted a UFO in the sky. We've heard the stories and seen the videos, and yet each new sighting still manages to capture our curiosity. Recently, someone shared footage that's making waves for its bizarre and unexplained nature. In the footage, you can see a dark patch in the clouds, but that isn't just an ordinary shadow or cloud formation. Within this dark patch, there are round orbs. The most intriguing part is the arrangement. There's a large orb in the center, with 3 smaller orbs positioned around it in a triangular shape. It's the kind of thing that immediately makes you think of UFOs and extraterrestrial encounters. The video was quite compelling. The orbs move in a way that doesn't seem natural for any known aircraft or weather phenomenon. They maintain their formation and appear to emit a faint glow, adding to the eerie effect. It looks like what we might consider a classic UFO sighting. However, as with any footage like this, skepticism is natural and necessary. Is this a UFO, or could it be some cleverly edited footage? With the advancements in video editing technology, it's easier than ever to create convincing hoaxes. Yet the details in this video, the way the orbs move, the consistency of the light, and the interaction with the clouds make it hard to dismiss outright. It doesn't have the usual telltale signs of amateur editing. So what do you think? Is this the real deal, an actual UFO sighting, or just another digital trickery meant to captivate our imaginations? You see it too, don't you? There were lights coming off the bird as it flew. That's definitely not normal, and people who saw the footage were baffled. How could a bird be emitting blue lights? Naturally, theories started circulating on the platform it was shared. Some thought the bird had come into contact with something electrical, perhaps lights that were going on and off. Others were very convinced that it had to be a drone disguised as a bird with lights for a mysterious and probably sinister purpose. It's hard to confirm and know for sure which of these reasons might be accurate given how far away the bird or device was. We haven't even been told where this was taken. It's moments like these that make you question what you're seeing. Have you come across anything like this? Do you have ideas what might be causing the lights to come off whatever it is in the sky? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. A man was walking home late at night when he started hearing strange snapping sounds coming from the trees around him. So he pulled out his phone and flashlight to record the source of the noises. What he captured is both shocking and baffling. In the footage, a massive creature can be seen moving through the woods. It's walking on 2 legs. The man believes what he saw could be a Bigfoot. What's your take on this figure in the woods? This footage is truly bizarre. Shared online as a candid capture of a cloudburst, it appears to come from a security camera overlooking a property. At first glance, it seems to document a sudden, intense downpour, a thick cascade of rain that descends with remarkable force. In the chaos, water rushes through, pushing a black car forward while another black car drives off in the background. But here's where it gets eerie. If you look closely, the sequence doesn't add up. At the far end, there's a black car, followed by a white and yellow one. However, as the water falls, the yellow car inexplicably vanishes. Then, almost as if by magic, a black car eerily similar to the one driving away earlier is suddenly washed to the front. Some say it's an unintentional glitch in the footage, others suspect it's been doctored using AI or editing software to create the illusion. What do you think? In this next clip, a man takes out a small black stone and places it on his glass counter. Suddenly, the stone starts to vibrate vigorously. It's quite a sight. When you look around, it seems the shop is a place that sells pearls, stones, and what looks like beads. Now, we know information on where this particular black stone is from, but the bigger question is, how and why is it vibrating like this? It's fascinating to think about. What kind of stone behaves this way? Is there something special about its composition, or is there an unseen force at work? Some people speculate that it's a trick or that there's something hidden under the counter causing the vibration. Others wonder if the stone has some unique properties or energy that we don't fully understand. What do you think? Is there a scientific explanation for the vibrating stone, or could it be something more mysterious? A man was out at American Fork Canyon when he saw something moving among the trees. At first, he thought it was a moose or an elk, but as he got closer and took a better look, he realized something was off. As soon as he noticed it, he took off running, and you can see it all in the footage. Let's zoom in and take a closer look at the creature. Right there, standing on two legs, almost cloaked by the dense forest, you can see the outline of a hairy creature. That's no moose or elk. It's very obvious what we're looking at here. A Bigfoot. The creature is upright, with a distinct humanoid shape covered in thick fur. The way it moves and stands is unlike any known animal in the area. Imagine being in his shoes, out for a peaceful hike and suddenly spotting this mysterious figure. Your heart would start racing, and you'd probably question if your eyes were playing tricks on you. But the footage doesn't lie. There's something there. People have been reporting sightings of Bigfoot for decades, and yet each new piece of evidence brings fresh excitement and skepticism. Is this the proof we've been waiting for, or is this just another hoax? Do birds turn on like bulbs? The obvious answer is no, right? So how do you explain this? In the clip, we see the bottom part of a bird light up and turn off a few times. Many individuals who saw this think it's not real, whereas others think it's a sign they needed to confirm that not all our birds in the sky are biological. They assume this is a cyborg, which sounds a bit ridiculous, but if you had been there, you'd know not to call such things ridiculous. Either way, the paranormal community is divided about this and could use your opinion. What do you think is going on here? What does this look like to you? Confused, are we? Well, once this clip was uploaded, there were some who thought it looked like spirits entering into our realm. Personally, I can see where they're coming from because it has this portal look and feel to it, but it turns out that's not the case. It turns out it's an intercontinental ballistic missile with multiple re-entry warheads that Russia launched on a Ukrainian city. After a little research, I discovered that it may be technology that only Russia has, which means the West predominantly. The US doesn't really have this, and many in the comments section are shaken by this. Not sure which interpretation is scarier, that these are spirits entering our realm, or that this is firepower one nation possesses and can simply launch anywhere whenever they feel like it. Someone captured this bizarre sight from across the street, a long pinkish creature sticking out of a hole in the wall. The creature's appearance is strange and unsettling. It looks like a type of tongue or tentacle, but it has a smoother texture, almost like it's covered in some sort of shiny synthetic material. As you watch the footage, you can't help but notice the way it moves. The motion is almost too smooth and too fluid, giving it an unnatural, eerie quality. The creature wriggles and undulates in a way that seems more like something you'd see in a special effects movie than in real life. This brings up an interesting question. Is this creature real, or is it a product of CGI? While the previous script might have been scary, this next one would have you scratching your head. As you can see, it's a night out on the streets. Everyone appears to be having fun with people cheering and laughing. A man was recording the whole thing, and he ended up recording more than he had initially planned. While reviewing the footage, he noticed something rather bizarre occurring that evening. A man suddenly emerged from between two moving trucks in the middle of the road. He just nonchalantly walked off the road like nothing had happened, completely unfazed. It was as if he'd appeared out of thin air. The craziest part is that the person filming didn't notice this at the time, since he seemingly blended in with everyone and everything happening. This mysterious appearance had raised all sorts of speculations. Could this be evidence of time travelers living among us, just moved through time to get there? Or is there a better explanation for it? Share your thoughts. A woman was hiking when she spotted something unusual in the valley below. In the water, she observed a humanoid figure, but its bottom half resembled a fish. She believes it could be a mermaid. The creature's form seemed to align with traditional depictions of mermaids, blending human and aquatic features. However, the video remains unclear and many are debating its authenticity. While some see this as possible evidence of mythical sea creatures, others argue it might have been a misidentified animal, such as a seal or a manatee, or even an elaborate hoax. What are your thoughts? What do you reckon this is? Before you say leaf, take a closer look. It appears to have legs and is moving on the thumb of the individual filming. Shocked by the sight of this creature, he recorded it and then uploaded it asking for answers. Here's the thing though, our paranormal community has all kinds of people, including science whizzes like Julius, yet no one could identify what this is. I tried using AI and Google to get answers, yet even they couldn't help me. Does this mean this clip is fabricated, or are we dealing with something new? Something no one has heard of or seen before? I think I will let you guys answer this one. If you know what it is, kindly help us out in the comments section. A few months ago, a man was outside when he noticed something strange in the sky. There were 3 odd-looking objects just hovering up there. No one was able to figure out exactly what they were, but that's not even the most bizarre part. These objects appeared to be rotating slowly, almost as if they were surveying the area. Then, towards the end of the clip, something shocking happens. The one in front, without any warning, shoots up into the sky at lightning speed. Just like that, gone in an instant. It's hard not to wonder what these things could be. Could it be alien technology, or perhaps these objects aren't machines at all, but some kind of entity we don't yet understand? The speed and movement definitely hinted something beyond our current knowledge. Some subscribe to the idea of it being AI, and you can't blame them. Aaron, on the other hand, thinks this might be the real deal. What say you? This new footage from Mexico has people talking. It shows a blurry figure in the sky which many believe to be an alien creature. The figure appears to have wings and moves about, changing its shape as it floats. What makes it even more striking is its purple color, which adds an eerie, almost otherworldly feel to the whole scene. Now, the footage is not the clearest, which makes it hard to say for sure what we're looking at, but it certainly looks unusual. Could this be some kind of rare atmospheric phenomenon, or maybe it's truly something extraterrestrial, as some suggest? And the biggest question is, what was this recorded on? These 3 people were having fun at the pool, 2 men and a woman. The woman was in the middle of the 2 men. They decided to take a video together, so the trio went under the water while filming and then came back up laughing. They didn't think much of the footage at first and shared it, but later one of them noticed something chilling. There was someone else in the footage, someone they hadn't seen or met at the pool. And here's where it gets really weird. The pool was not public. This was their own private home pool, yet in the video, you can clearly see a figure behind the woman in the middle. It looks like another woman, but her long, wet black hair is covering her face entirely. This unknown figure went into the water with them, rose back up with them, and then vanished just like that. The trio was completely freaked out by what they saw. They had no idea and were certain no one else was there. So what do you think? Was this just some creepy illusion, or could this be a ghostly presence? A man was out one night filming from his car when he captured something eerie behind him. In the footage, a line of small human-like creatures can be seen walking single file into the darkness near someone's house. These creatures are believed to be duendes, mythical beings known in many cultures as mischievous spirits or little people. Even a single duende can cause chaos. Imagine the mayhem a group of them might bring. What are your thoughts? Are these truly duendes? A security camera set up in a rural area for security purposes captured what has left both locals and all who saw it online completely stunned. At first, the footage seems ordinary. It was a quiet day with no one walking around and everything being still. But then after a few moments, something strange happens. Did you see that? Let's play it again. Dark, ghostly figure appears from inside one building, swiftly moving across to the building opposite and then vanishes as if it was never there. Some members of the paranormal community think the footage was digitally manipulated, while a number believe this is the real deal. You've seen the clips, so what are your thoughts? These men, who were fishermen by trade, were on a hike to a remote fishing spot in Bolivia when they stumbled upon something unexpected. The area was filled with strange, oddly shaped rocks, and what's even more intriguing is that these rocks eerily resembled flying saucers. Take a look at this footage. Their theory? They believe this could be a UFO landing site, and over time these crafts were somehow petrified in a stone. It's a bold claim, but I must admit the rocks do bear an uncanny resemblance to the classic image of UFOs. What do you think? Could these really be ancient remnants of extraterrestrial technology?
Hello? Hello?
A man ventured out for a solo camping trip in the woods, but what unfolded that night turned into a nightmare he will never likely forget. The eerie sequence began when he woke up in the middle of the night to strange noises outside his tent. Curious, yet fearful, he cautiously unzipped his tent to peek outside. In the dim moonlight, he spotted an odd figure standing by a tree. The figure was shrouded in darkness, its shape indistinct yet menacing. Terrified, he zipped the tent shut, only to muster the courage to look again. This time he caught sight of glowing eyes peering from the dark, their piercing light cutting through the shadows. Later in the night, the situation took a bizarre turn. Just outside his tent, he saw one of his items, possibly a camping tool, floating and rotating in mid-air. Overwhelmed by fear, he decided it was time to pack up and leave. However, even as he prepared to escape, his ordeal was not over. He spotted another pair of glowing red eyes staring at him from a tree branch. The predatory gaze seemed to follow him, heightening his terror. While the footage in his account remain unclear in parts, this experience will likely haunt him for the rest of his life. Would you dare to camp in the wilderness after hearing a story like this?
Hello? Hello?
Astagfirullahaladzim, astagfirullah. Dianami, ini dianami kok. Astagfirullahaladzim, ya Allah. Ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim. Ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim.
A group of friends were out one night enjoying themselves when they spotted something that froze them in their tracks. In the darkness, they noticed a figure. It's a humanoid shape levitating mid-air. The figure looked like a body wrapped in a white cloth, eerily hovering in place. It's unsettling to watch, and you can hear the fear in the voices of the people behind the camera as they shout out in terror. What could this be? A ghostly apparition?
Astagfirullahaladzim, astagfirullah. Dianami, ini dianami kok. Astagfirullahaladzim, ya Allah. Ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim. Ya Allah, astagfirullahaladzim.
This video is an old piece of footage that's been circulating on the internet for quite some time. It was supposedly taken by a Brazilian farmer who claimed to have discovered something bizarre on his land. The footage shows a massive octopus-like creature emerging from the earth, seemingly staring back at him. Now, let's address the obvious question. Aren't octopuses supposed to live in the sea? Well, not entirely. There's actually a species called the octopus Abdopus axuliatus that lives on land for short periods, hunting crabs on beaches. However, these are much smaller and nowhere near the size of the creature in the footage. At the time, the farmer claimed this was an alien, and honestly, don't octopuses already kind of look like aliens with their tentacles and otherworldly features? But no need to panic, this footage was later proven to be fake, so rest assured there aren't giant alien octopuses lurking under the earth, at least we haven't discovered them yet. Dogs go crazy at midnight for a variety of reasons, but when you're used to having quiet dogs who all of a sudden become noisy at night, you start to wonder what's setting them off. This was the situation for Oscar Martinez, and luckily for him, his property had a security cam. Once he began to go over the security cam footage, he saw what it was that was upsetting his dogs. It's, however, one thing to see the cause and another to recognize it. Martinez only saw a woman in white walking the streets close to his home. She had this eerie aura that made him believe he was dealing with a being that was not exactly human. He uploaded the clip seeking answers, and he did get a lot of them. The most predominant among the answers was that he may either be dealing with a distressed and lost spirit or dealing with La Llorona. If you're new here, La Llorona is said to be the spirit of a woman who, in a fit of rage of despair, drowned her children in a river after being abandoned or betrayed by her lover. Realizing the horror of her actions, she's consumed by grief and takes her own life. In the afterlife, she's cursed to wander the earth, crying out for her lost children and searching for them endlessly, much like the being we see moving in the clip. What do you think, though? Doors are essential for security. But what happens when the intruder is a huge black bear? A home security camera inside a living room captured startling footage of just such an event. The video shows the front door being forcefully opened, with the frame giving way under the bear's strength. Moments later, the massive animal strides into the house, casually exploring the space. Fortunately, the homeowners were not present during the incident. When they returned, they found the door ajar and watched the footage to uncover the cause and shared this video online. This is also a reminder to secure your homes, especially in areas where bears or other large creatures are known to roam. Kids are often believed to possess some sort of sixth sense, allowing them to perceive things that most adults cannot. This footage seems to offer a glimpse into that mysterious ability. In the video, a family is sitting under a shed, relaxing. At one end of the shed, a man is drilling into a tank. Meanwhile, a shirtless little boy, seemingly out of nowhere, suddenly bolts across the shelter, yelling at the adults to get out of there. Moments later, the unthinkable happens. The tank explodes, startling everyone. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but the timing was so eerie. After the incident, the family was left in shock, wondering how the boy knew something was wrong and had the instinct to warn everybody. Could he have sensed danger or seen something the adults couldn't? Two men had taken shelter one stormy night as the rain began to pour down, accompanied by the distant rumble of thunder. You can hear the storm building and the wind howling through the darkness. Suddenly, in a split second, something absolutely terrifying happened. Lightning split the sky, and for a brief moment, something appeared after the lightning bolt. Look at that. Let's watch it again, this time in slow motion. There it is, a horned creature with wings outstretched. You could make out the faint outline of its muscular body as if the lightning had illuminated it, making it glow in the night. And then, just as quickly as it appeared, it vanished into the storm. Well, after firing something out of its hands. What could this have been? Was it some kind of demon? And if it was, why was it carrying out an attack? Did the people annoy it or something? So many questions, yet no one to ask them. When we think of nuclear and radioactive exposure, the first thing that comes to mind is Chernobyl and the like. We never think that there could be a little boy in our neighborhood building a nuclear reactor and putting us all in danger. That's the exact story of David Hahn, the radioactive Boy Scout. Fascinated by science, Hahn devoured old textbooks and manuals to learn about radioactive materials. As a Boy Scout working on an atomic energy badge, his curiosity spiraled into dangerous experiment. He scavenged radioactive elements from common household items, including americium from smoke detectors, thorium from gas lantern mantles, and radium from antique clocks. With ingenuity and makeshift tools, Hahn set up a laboratory in his backyard shed, attempting to create a functioning breeder reactor that could generate energy. Unfortunately, Hahn's experiment took a hazardous turn. The reactor began emitting increasing levels of radiation. Things could have gotten really bad if he hadn't been stopped by the local police, who detected radioactive material in his car during a routine stop. Fearing he might be building a bomb, the feds were contacted, and this led to the dismantling of Hahn's shed by a hazmat team. Although no explosion occurred, the incident resulted in environmental contamination and highlighted the potential dangers of unregulated amateur experiments. This is a picture of David in his mid-20s with sores all over his body. He paid a hefty price for his experiment, but imagine authorities never discovering his experiment. Just imagine what could have happened to him and his neighborhood. Scary, huh? Well, just in case you were wondering, he ended up serving in the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps, but died young. Well, on that note, let's dive into another fascinating discovery captured on camera. A group of workers on site managed to capture something truly bizarre. A small patch of cloud appeared to be falling right out of the sky. Yes, a piece of a cloud just descended to the ground. Now, we all know that clouds aren't supposed to fall. They're supposed to stay suspended in the sky. But this moment seems to challenge everything we thought we knew. Just look at how the men rushed to check it out, running over in disbelief to examine what appeared to be a fallen piece of cloud. But here's the real question. Can clouds actually fall, or is there another explanation for this strange phenomenon? Confused by what you're seeing? Believe me when I say we were too when we initially saw it. The clip starts off with what looks like some animal being on all fours. A few seconds in, we see there are multiples of these beings, and they are in fact capable of standing on their 2 feet. The thing about these creatures, or beings however, is that their body proportions are just not right. They have slimmer limbs than you would associate with a human, which begs the question, who or what exactly are we dealing with? The answer to that could be anything given the fact that this was allegedly recorded on a trail cam in the wilderness. A number of individuals in the paranormal community who saw this believe we're dealing with a shapeshifter. Looking at the clip, I get where they're coming from, but is that the real situation though? I'll let you guys decide on this one. A homeowner shared security footage from inside his home, and what the camera captured is truly bizarre. A large glowing light orb was floating around in one of the rooms. There were no apparent entry points or sources of light that could explain how it got there. It just seemed to appear out of nowhere. Light orbs remain one of the most mysterious and unexplained phenomena. Whether they are entities, natural occurrences, or something else entirely is still up for debate. Often these orbs are associated with extraterrestrial life because of the way they move, as if they possess some form of intelligence. I mean, we already showed one earlier, but that acted differently from this one, so what do you think this floating orb could be? Russia has been embroiled in a drawn-out war for years, with the United States standing firmly on Ukraine's side. Recently, a move by outgoing U.S. President Joe Biden has sent shock waves worldwide. He authorized the use of U.S.-made missiles by Ukraine to target Russian territory. This action has escalated tensions dramatically, with many fearing it could spark a third world war. We know how volatile Vladimir Putin can be, and he's already responded. In a statement, Putin suggested that this move has brought the world closer to a direct war between Russia and the US, even hinting that he might consider the use of nuclear weapons. And we don't need to imagine what that means for humanity. It's catastrophic. But the real question is, why now? Joe Biden, the sitting president who is approaching the end of his term, seems frail even in public appearances. Yet here he is, making decisions with monumental consequences for global security. Is this really Biden's strategy, or is someone else pulling the strings behind the scenes? This man working in the sewers of London pulled out this creature from the sewer water. It's massive, and it's a slimy creature. Just look at the size of that thing. It's enormous, larger than anything you'd expect to find lurking in a sewer. The sewers are one of the least explored places in any city, filled with all kinds of waste, chemicals, and runoff. Who knows what sort of bizarre and potentially dangerous creatures could thrive in such an environment? If this footage is real, could this massive slug-like creature be some kind of mutation caused by chemical exposure? Or could it simply be a species we haven't encountered often due to the dark and hostile environment of the sewers? On the other hand, there's always the possibility that this is AI-generated footage. If that's the case, it's a chillingly convincing piece of work. In this vast universe, it seems improbable that humans are the only intelligent beings to exist on Earth. There's so much more beyond what meets the human eye. Aside from the physical beings we can see, various theories, cultural beliefs, and even religious teachings suggest that there are spiritual entities invisible to the naked eye. However, at times, it appears that these entities may attempt to make themselves visible. Look at this footage. A man was walking through a town completely unaware that something strange was happening behind him. An observer noticed a dark entity following him closely. What's odd is that this figure wasn't his shadow, it was something separate, moving in sync with him. Yet the man didn't seem to notice anything out of the ordinary. Could this be a spirit, a shadow figure, or something else entirely? What do you think this dark presence could be? This footage comes from a security camera and it captures something truly bizarre. A man is standing outside, completely still, staring straight ahead, but the strange part? There's a line of glowing orbs right in front of him. The man's gaze appears locked on the orbs, almost as if he's been entranced by them. The uploader of the footage believes that these orbs might have hypnotized him, and honestly, standing outside in the middle of the night frozen in place is definitely out of the ordinary. Could it be that these orbs are responsible for his strange behavior? We've seen orbs on this channel before, but never had we had any hypnotized people. Could these things be evolving, or have they always been capable of doing more than we realized? Share your thoughts in the comments section. By now, most of us have heard about the direwolves that were brought back from extinction. Everyone is talking about it. And it's no secret that scientists are also working on re-engineering the existence of mammoths and other long-gone species. But now, in China, researchers have made yet another mind-blowing discovery. They've uncovered what they believe to be a fossilized embryo. Not just an embryo, this one belonged to a dinosaur. Yeah, an actual dinosaur. The fossil, discovered back in the year 2000, has been sitting in storage preserved until just recently when scientists finally took a deeper look. What they found left them stunned. It's a nearly intact dinosaur embryo estimated to be around 72 million years old. And here's where it gets even more bizarre. The embryo seems to belong to a feathered dinosaur species likely related to early birds. The creature was curled up inside its egg in a position almost identical to how modern-day bird embryos rest just before hatching. It's eerie familiar. Now, with today's level of genetic engineering and cloning advancements, you can probably guess what some researchers are thinking. Yep, bringing it back. We're getting dangerously close to making real-life Jurassic Park a thing. The big question is, just because we can bring back extinct apex predators, should we? We've got some very tricky footage that's been circulating online, and it has everyone completely torn about what it actually shows. The video captures this strange object just floating in the sky. It appears to be twisting and rising almost like it's alive. At the top of it, you can see lights that look almost like flickering flames, while the lower part trails off in this rope-like shape, almost like a tendril or a tail. Now, some people are saying it's just a balloon that caught fire, or maybe even a drone going down in flames. But the paranormal community thinks it might be something else entirely. Some believe this could be a jellyfish UFO, which is a type of unidentified flying object that just looks organic, almost like a deep-sea creature floating through the sky. And honestly, here's the strange part. If it was a balloon or a drone on fire, it should have fallen, but this thing stayed up, floating steadily, even pausing mid-air at one point as if it was controlling its movement. It didn't behave like something crashing. So what do you think? What you're looking at is a robotic dog built in China called Black Panther 2.0. This machine is impressive and terrifying at the same time, as it can sprint 100 meters in just 10 seconds. Its design includes joint mechanisms that allow it to move like a real animal, and it's even capable of outrunning some. But this isn't the only robot dog out there. There are robotic dogs designed for battlefields, capable of swimming, carrying weapons, and performing tactical maneuvers. Now, imagine combining these robots, the speed and agility of Black Panther 2.0, with the weaponry of battle-designed robot dogs. Humans would not stand a chance. Just look at this. The potential power of robots in the future feels unstoppable. Are we prepared for what's coming? Many in the community don't think so. In fact, look at this comment. He's not wrong, is he? This video shows a man holding a sheet of paper against a mirror, with a banana placed behind the paper hidden from the mirror's direct view. But here's the strange part. When he pans the camera to the side of the mirror, you can clearly see the banana in the reflection. I've seen a lot of videos like this, and most people jump to wild conclusions, saying the mirror is either bewitched or that it's a glitch in the Matrix. But honestly, the explanation is much simpler. It's just science, at least according to someone in the paranormal community. He states that mirrors don't just reflect what's directly in front of them, they capture and rotate the images of objects in their reflective view. In this case, the angle of reflection allows the banana to be visible even when it's seemingly blocked by the paper. So while it's cool and might look supernatural at first glance, there's no magic here, just good old-fashioned optics. I know I should confirm this with Julius, but not after he asked me if I know how light lenses work. I'm gonna go on a hunch and say this is accurate, but what do you guys also think? This next footage was shared by a couple, and it's one of those subtle but seriously creepy moments that just makes your skin crawl the more you watch it. They're on a regular video call. The wife was at home, just casually chatting with her husband. Everything seems totally normal. She was smiling and laughing until suddenly her whole expression changed. Out of nowhere, she quickly turns around. And it wasn't just a small glance. She whipped her head around like something startled her. Her husband, watching through the video call, saw it happen in real life and asked what was wrong. She said it felt like something had grabbed her hair from behind, but here's the thing, there was no one else there. You can even see when her hair lifted slightly in the footage. The woman did share that she'd recently lost a relative, which could explain what happened, but if it wasn't her late relative, then something else was in there with her that day. But what was it? Up next, we have a chilling video that was shared by a man who was home alone with his toddler son. He was casually live streaming when something very unexpected happened. In the corner of the room, near the curtains, a strange figure suddenly appeared. It was a pale woman, almost ghostly white, dressed in what looked like Victorian-era clothing. She wasn't moving, she just stood there, completely still, staring at the man and his son. And yes, it's just as creepy as it sounds. People in the comments were quick to point out that the house looks old, and many believe that this might be the spirit of a former resident. The way she appears and just watches in silence, there's something deeply unsettling about it. And we are back to strange homes. This clip comes from a woman who recently purchased a 250-year-old house and has since been experiencing some truly strange occurrences. In one encounter, she heard strange noises coming from her room, so she rushed to check. As she entered, she noticed movement near the window behind the curtains. Gathering her courage, she pulled the curtain back, but there was nothing there. But what happens next is even eerier. In a later clip, she discovers a loose floorboard. She lifts it to reveal a dirt-filled cavity beneath, and there was something buried in the dirt. She dug it out and found an old, dusty book with incredibly thick pages. Looking at it, the first thing that comes to mind is a grimoire. She didn't open it in the video, so we don't get to find out what was inside. To many in the paranormal community, it's not that surprising for a home that's been standing for so long to have these kinds of experiences. It's often believed that spirits tied to the history of such homes might linger, creating unsettling experiences for the new residents. But what do you think this book really is?
Connecting to rider support. Please wait.
Have you ever heard about driverless taxis? A passenger recently shared a nerve-wracking experience in one of these futuristic vehicles. According to her, the car unexpectedly stopped in the middle of the road, so she contacted customer support. While she was still on that call, the car suddenly started moving again. The support representative assured her that the vehicle had stopped momentarily to find the best and safest location to pull over. While this explanation might sound logical and even comforting to some, the reality of sitting alone in a moving car with no driver is an entirely different experience. For many, this is a thrilling glimpse into the future of technology. However, it also raises important questions. Even with human drivers, unexpected situations can catch you off guard. So how safe are these autonomous taxis, and would you ride one?
Hi, Sophia. How can I be of service?
The car seems to be stuck trying to find a spot to pull over.
Ah, okay. So it looks like you're trying to pull over the...
No, we're at... Oh, never mind. It's moving now. It seems to... Was that you? Was that you?
No, it probably just was trying to determine the safest location to pull over, just because safety is the main priority.
Okay. I think we're good, though. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for riding with Waymo, and you guys have a great rest of your day.
You too. As well. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
A man had gone out for a relaxing day of kayaking when he spotted something unusual swimming close to his boat. At first, it looked like a massive fish with a fin slicing through the surface of the water. He even assumed it had to be a whale. It was just that big. But as more of the creature came into view, it became clear this was not a whale at all. Turns out what he'd encountered was actually a basking shark. And while the word shark might immediately set off alarm bells, there's no need to panic. This shark is not dangerous. The basking shark is the second largest living shark species in the world, only behind the whale shark. But they are completely harmless to humans. These gentle giants feed on plankton, not people, and they're known for just cruising near the surface with their mouths open wide, filtering out food. Despite their enormous size and prehistoric look, they're calm, slow-moving, and more curious than threatening. Still, imagine being out in a kayak alone on the water and seeing the giant fin pop up next to you. Even if you knew it was harmless, it'd still be scary. This footage was taken in the Kremlin in Moscow, and what witnesses saw that night left everyone stunned. Hovering silently in the sky was a massive black pyramid-shaped object, and no, this wasn't the first time something like this has been spotted. A documentary even covered this phenomenon, showing the object from multiple angles, and here's where it gets even weirder. Similar pyramid UFOs have been reported over China, the Pentagon, and even above a US warship. That's not just a coincidence. To many, this is proof that what we are seeing isn't human technology. People are starting to believe that these could be aliens, possibly the same beings who were behind the construction of the pyramids around the world. What do you think? Is this just secret military tech, or are we seeing something extraterrestrial? We all remember the recent TikTok ban in the US, a drama that didn't even last a full day, but let me spill some wild details about those chaotic few hours. While many creators on the app were busy saying emotional goodbyes to their followers, others completely spiraled into hysteria. Some people have even went so far as to call 911. Yeah.
Call for a check on a caller 10 Street. RP is saying they love TikTok and is very incoherent.
Copy. I'll gain my composure. Figure it out.
10-4. He said I need it back. And I asked him if he was seriously calling 911 because TikTok was down.
The emergency line begging for help or complaining about the ban. Can you believe it? Just imagine needing emergency assistance and having your call delayed because someone is freaking out over TikTok being banned. Absolutely insane, right? Fortunately, things were smoothed over when President Trump pushed TikTok onto a 90-day probation, giving a US company the chance to buy the app. Crisis somewhat averted. What do you think of the TikTok panic? Was it justified or simply over the top? A group of men shared some odd footage they captured on their way home, and it's left viewers divided. The video shows a strange creature emerging from the bushes on the side of the road. This black-furred being is crawling on all fours and, to everyone's shock, starts chasing after that car. The footage is blurry, but you can still make out the eerie movements of this figure. Some viewers are convinced it's a cryptid. Others think it might just be a person in a costume pulling off an elaborate prank. The real question is, what would you do if something like this came after you? My vanilla ice cream lovers, where are you? You might want to sit down for this one and maybe set that cone aside just for a second. Here's the deal. Scientists have been working on a way to make more vanilla flavor for all our ice cream cravings. Sounds great, right? Well, hold that excitement because it's about to get weird. They've apparently figured out how to turn plastic waste, yes, actual garbage, into vanilla flavoring. You heard that right. From plastic bottles to vanilla ice cream. Wondering how? They use E. coli bacteria. They're genetically modifying it to break down plastic and convert it into a compound called vanillin, which is the stuff that gives vanilla its signature taste and smell. And technically, it's safe, technically. But how comfortable are you knowing that your ice cream might have started life as a soda bottle? Look, innovation is cool and all, but when we start turning plastic waste into food additives, it makes you wonder then if there is a problem. There's going to be microplastic in there, which is very harmful to us. Now, before tasting ice cream, our minds would race with the thought of whether we're really tasting vanilla or recycled trash. So let me know what you think, because honestly, I don't know whether to be impressed or terrified. There are people who seem to invite strange things into their lives, and this man might be one of them. He didn't just stumble into the paranormal, he embraced it. According to his videos, he began practicing dark magic and he filmed everything. In these clips, he's constantly holding onto a strange-looking doll, almost like it's part of a ritual. His eyes turn a ghostly white, and he starts to levitate, all while murmuring something low under his breath. Something no one can quite make out. Ever since he started these rituals, things have never been the same in his house. The doll is always near him when the unexplainable begins. It never just sits still. Sometimes it gets dragged across the floor by something unseen. Other times it falls onto him or hits him as if something is trying to get his attention, or maybe warn him. And then there's the mirror. He has this full-length mirror next to him during these sessions, and for some reason it's always involved. People have seen it fall off the wall with force and crash onto the ground, only to suddenly stand upright on its own moments later. No one touches it, there's no explanation. What's even more unnerving is that it's always just him. He's alone, filming these moments, never looking scared, just destined, like he's getting used to it, or like he's not alone anymore. Many viewers believe he might have brought something into his home, something that isn't leaving, something connected to the doll or the mirror, or maybe even him. Is he performing actual rituals that open doors to another realm, or is this just staged? Have you ever thought about the voice inside your head? Some call it conscience, others say it's just you talking to yourself. But what if it's not? Let me introduce you to Holosonics directional audio. This is a fascinating piece of technology. This tech uses specially designed speakers that emit highly targeted sound frequencies. But only people standing within the targeted zone can hear it. Anyone outside that range hears absolutely nothing. What's even creepier is how this technology is believed to be used. Imagine you're in a supermarket, casually browsing. At a specific spot, you suddenly hear a voice in your head subtly suggesting you buy a certain product, something you probably didn't even plan for. The voice feels personal, like your own thoughts, but it's not. This directional audio doesn't require headphones, earpieces, or any visible device. If no one told you about it, you'd have no idea it's happening. I mean, to have this in technology is both fascinating and terrifying at the same time. These days, when people hear satanic worship, the first thing that usually comes to mind is something with strange symbols on their face, wearing upside-down crosses and cursing out Christianity. But back in the day, satanic worship was way darker than just edgy fashion statements. A group of explorers were out in a remote wooded area in California when they came across an opening in the ground. Curious, they decided to go in, and it led them straight into what looked like an underground facility. This place, according to locals, was once used as a satanic temple, and what they found inside made that pretty clear. All over the space were signs of disturbing rituals. Human remains, yup, actual bones were scattered across the area. Some were even embedded into the concrete walls. The place was dusty, and strange symbols and writings were on the walls. But one of the eeriest things they noticed was the shoes. Lots of them. Old, worn-out shoes lying around in corners and along the walls. The rumor is that back in the day, victims of these rituals were kidnapped, used in sacrifices, and never seen again. So those shoes might have belonged to them. It's terrifying to think about, but it shows how deep and dark things may have once been. Nowadays, if satanic worship like that still exists, it's hidden. So the next time someone laughs it off or says it's just some goth trend, just remember there are places out there that tell a much more sinister story. Someone shared this video from New Zealand and it's got the internet talking. They captured this strange creature coming out of the water. It kind of looked like a dolphin, but it was darker, smaller, and way more unusual. Turns out what they saw is known as the New Zealand long-fingered eel. These creatures are native to New Zealand and are actually critically endangered. They can grow over 6 feet long, live for decades, and spend most of their life in fresh water before heading out to the ocean to breed once and then die. People rarely see them out like this, especially coming up from the water like that. So when one shows up unexpectedly, it almost feels like spotting something out of a legend. Nature is full of surprises. Here's a chilling story. A father was working a night shift and wasn't home, but he had a home security system with the live feed linked to his phone. At home, his wife and their few-month-old baby were in the living room, the only 2 people in the house. In the footage, you can see the mother holding the baby on her lap, gently rocking back and forth. Everything seemed peaceful, and the baby was quiet at first. But then, out of nowhere, the baby started crying again. What's unsettling is that the father got a notification from the security system. It detected a third person in the house. Confused, he kept watching. As the mother lifted the baby from her lap to place them over her shoulder, the baby's gaze shifted toward the door. And there it was, a pale face peeking inside the room. The baby clearly saw it too and became even more upset, fussing and crying. The father rushed home immediately to ensure his family was safe. To this day, they have no idea who or what the face belonged to. All over the internet, we've seen tons of videos like this of people playing pranks on unsuspecting pedestrians. Some dress up in tree costumes, others hide behind signs or objects, and a few even wear full bodysuits designed to blend into the surroundings just to jump out and scare someone for laughs. Most of the time, it's all for fun and views, but not everyone finds it funny. In one particular case, a group of guys were filming a similar stunt. One man stood across the street with a camera while another was dressed as a roadblock on the sidewalk. Each time someone walked by, he suddenly moves or screams, making people jump. But it seems they picked the wrong person this time. When one man approached and got startled, instead of laughing it off, he reacted and kicked the prankster. It's safe to say those pranksters might think twice before trying that again, especially in a busy city like New York. It was a funny scene for some, sure, but not everyone enjoys being part of a joke.
What the you guys doing?
You know, this stuff, as far as I'm concerned, once again, call me a party pooper, it's gotta be banned. People have gotta stop doing this, because what's to say you're gonna jump out at someone that's got a weak heart? You know, or some kind of an illness, and you set them off here, or you set them off here. Then what happens? People don't ever think about this kind of stuff. It's ridiculous. Stop doing this shit. Anyway, with that, we end today's episode. Thank you for staying with us. Before you go with their clips and videos you think we should have featured by now that we haven't, well, the good news is you can share them with us and we'll post them crediting you. Please send any such footage, including ones you recorded yourself, to us via classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. We'll do our thing and include it in our next episode. We can't wait to receive what you have. Now share this video with as many people as you can. Share it with people that you love. Share it with your family. Share it with your friends. Share it with strangers. I don't care. Just share it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.